Oke guys, kita lanjut lagi ke game yang keempat ya guys ya. Dimana game ketiga tadi Apbren dibuat terpukul ya guys setelah membantai-bantai. Akhirnya ke comeback ya, padahal Blacklist cuma ngekill 5 guys. Dan akhirnya bisa membalikan keadaan. Fanny-nya Kaltiz juga udah menggila. Tapi itulah permainan ya guys. Satu kali momen, satu kali kesalahan, buyar semua kemenangan yang sudah diraih. Langsung aja kita nonton di game keempat guys. Apakah Blacklist bisa melanjutkan ke grand final, ke final upper bracket? Blacklist ketika lagi momen-momen match point pasti dia pakai hero support. Hero support rata-rata dia kan. Sekarang dia pakai Rafaela. Dan Lord JM-nya dari tadi MVP terus guys. Dan sekarang dia pakai hero power-nya itu Benedetta. Dan tadi apa? Fanny-nya Kaltiz di respect band.
I guess. Ready to again. We're always so ready to be proven kind of wrong here.
Revitalize Bennett.
Khalid. Tadi Khalid
Tank
juga
Bennett,
yang itu ya.
the dominance eyes and everything, right?
All right, here we go. Blacklist at match point. Gentlemen, take us into the bout.
We'll head on into the bout, and it is
menang guys.
high noon, says Super Marco. We'll find out
Welcome
if they can bring it to a game five. Man, that should have
Welcome,
been there
guys.
the last one, but great
Selamat
response
datang. Jangan lupa
from
dibantu like.
Blacklist International. And yes, gentlemen, Lord JM running the revitalized, tanky Benedetta. We saw this yesterday, but also from our old friend over at Diablo in MPL Singapore. He loves to do this.
Yeah, so we can expect Lord JM to be a menace again, disrupting Falcons Apbren's rotation, their plans. Not necessarily go for the kills, but to do enough to force Falcons Apbren to react to what Blacklist is doing. Because again, if you just tuned in, you missed a huge play. Lord JM with the Khalid chased after 4. There was even a Fanny from Kaltiz. He manages to escape. That actually made them win game number 3. That's why Blacklist is on match point now.
Darahnya.
Match point here at this point. But I have to kind of echo some of the thoughts here of the panel, because Rockhart and Leo made good points. I mean, even for Few to bring this Eve, your game plan throughout this game and everything else is kind of it's more so like one-dimensional, where like you really need to be fighting around their reorganization. That's what you're going for and everything. And yeah, even with Rockhart said, like, I feel like Super Marco was almost in a position where he just ended up picking this Clint. And they gotta make it work because this before the turtle breaks out.
Flicker.
Manages to escape Laptease. He just goes in with a quick sand guard. That was 4 members of Blacklist trying to burst down Falcons Apbren. So okay, the last time that we saw a Clint, as the panel mentioned, was with Kellera. And Kellera shocked the world, proved the haters wrong. That Kellera is a good pick when push comes to shove.
Kellera's a good pick, or the Clint?
No, the Clint in
there
Kellera's hands.
Kellera's always a good pick,
but
too.
What enabled Kellera, by the way, But what enabled Kellera to activate the Clint early on was a huge dominant start from King Kong. So that means Kyle Dizzy, if you really want to serve up Super Marco, eventually lead his power spike, he needs to step up and get those early game kills with Suyo.
He does, and I guess, in a way, that's really what you are going for anytime you even have a Suyo in your draft, right? And I think that's why also for Blacklist International, they went with that whole, let's just kind of extend these team fights, let's go and heal through a lot of this because they have the Rafaela. Not only that, but even the Revitalize will help them. And if they get to the later portion of the game, the amount of utility that they have and the amount of angles that Blacklist lineup can come from in a team fight or a skirmish is good enough to fight around the box. That's really what we're looking at here. Because you're able to find your entry points for OHEB later on, especially with this sprint. Like, that alone will also make him a kind of hard to catch and able to go and put pressure, even if Few just sets things up with the ultimate, if they decide to go that way.
Yeah, and actually, the Blacklist lineup right now is actually misleading. You'd think they lack crowd control, but what Perks have shown us yesterday when he picked up the Rafaela, I don't know if it was game 2 or game 3 up against Omega, but leading towards that game win, they had an amazing three times he popped his Holy Baptism setup for 3 crucial times towards the ending game. That's why they won. So Perks isn't going to be a defensive kind of Rafaela. He's going to look for those Holy Baptism plays for the setups.
Yeah, be a little aggressive here for Perks. It's funny too, because again, that last
Huh?
game, you know, I was saying
Lagi
even
tanggung.
throughout that, like, man, he hasn't found the kick he was
Oh,
looking for, and then
Lord
at the end,
Jam.
he found it.
Bisa
Oh,
ge-
top side.
They're gonna find it. They're gonna find Lord JM at the top to
Masih bisa.
revitalize. And the final blow just to walk away up
Electro
against Flap
Final
Easy
Blow.
and Kyle Teasy.
Eh,
So that's a resource down. When it
wow,
comes to the second
ditinggalin
turbo,
satu lane nih.
so Falcons Apbren, okay, they know this idea, they have this information as they try to work on Lord JM again. And this is what you were saying a while ago. Lord JM, he's not gonna go for those kills. He just really wants to disrupt the formation and the pattern of Falcons Apbren.
He wants to, but right now he's just going to go up. They might have to give this up because of the fact of what FCAP just did, and it looks like they'll do just that. So, Turtle for the taking here. FCAP will secure that one. And all that was played off the fact that they got those resources out from Lord JM.
Lord
So
JM ke
now it's up
atas.
to Blacklist International to go ahead and try to play the map, find what they can.
Full
That's what Lord
platingan.
JM does. Get some extra gold in his pockets up here. Flap.
Forcing out the Raging Sandstorm. Hachi goes in with a Crimson Beacon. They want to go for Flap Teasy, but Flap Teasy with a quick Sand Guard.
Mati
Gonna
dong,
get picked up by
JM.
Hachi. But the sustain is not there. He goes
Kosong
down.
mati.
But Lord JM as well up against
Rugi
three
juga dong,
members
walaupun
of the
dapat
Beast.
platingan, dapat
Good trade.
turtle so.
XP for XP. Duke it out with that, but that's what Lord JM had to do. So OHEB 2 at this point, he's just going to put pressure on that
Bisa
bottom side.
hancur
Look how
atas.
far they're pushing Super Marco off. Good damage though.
Oh, gak kena speed. Mati dong udah pakai speed of alpha-nya. Gak bisa kemana-mana yang King. Kalau sempat sudah keluarin speed of alpha, ada reward manipulation. Duh, kaki seperti diikat sebelah guys, dipegangin.
MP the King ends up saving Perks at least, but they do get a turret, so they convert that. You can see the gold between the gold laners. It's pulling ahead for Super Marco at this point. He's going to get the turret in response to
Coba beda 200.
everything else, everywhere else, except aside from
Oh,
because
Heb
he's got some of
ke
those early
DHS dulu ya
kills.
guys ya.
They're getting
Karena
that lead
rata-rata
that
orang
they need, you know, and they're building up for it.
masih
Lord JM got
buat
some goal
corrosion
ahead
dulu baru
of
DHS.
Flap, but ultimately, it's nothing too crazy that Blacklist International cannot handle before the next objective. So really what you want to keep your eyes on is where is FCAP kind of putting the pressure? What are they looking to lock down? If that means even just battle spells or ultimates and not necessarily converting a kill, I would say FCAP's happy with that, hitting the 3
FCAP.
turtles and not even having to fight because again, they have an advantage with the lineup that they have around objective takes, and Blacklist will always have to look for a way
5, 4
to
di
go
bawah.
around it. The only question is, do they have enough firepower at this point? Mid turret tier 1 gonna be worked on, but it's cleared through by Lord JM with the Electro Final Blow. OHEB will still stay top side, so it might look like Blacklist will just give up this
Kalau dia
third
hancur
turtle here
atas.
unless MP can do something, but it looks like he's
Magic
gonna
Central, kena. Dibantuin sama Suzuinnya. Nggak dikasih balik, nggak dikasih balik. Ah, OHEB yang kena. Hajis flicker selamat dia.
Yeah, good pickup there too, and I mean Haji flickering out to the other side of the bush. He's like, it's got to be one of us, man, you know. So it ends up being him. FCAP will go ahead, still building up on that lead here. And so really, you're looking at the items. Do they have enough? Does Blacklist have enough to win some of these fights? And you know, not just yet. Endless Battle now picked up too by Super Marco. They want this tier 1 mid, but Lord JM continuously using that ultimate, the Electro Final Blow, to clear out the minions.
Electro Final Blow.
Needs a little bit more
Tuh
time
clear
too.
aja.
You know, if you look at the main damage dealers,
Wah, Super Marco nya udah enak nih clean nih. Udah sakit. Dapur.
Not just a couple of times, a lot. OHEB needs a lot
Hancur
more
sih
time to
tengahnya.
farm up. And they can actually do this. This is like what happened during game number 3, where Falcons Apbren was in full control. Then two crucial plays rather, turned things around for Blacklist. So right now, in terms of team fights, they can actually handle the damage that Falcons Apbren is gonna give, especially when it comes to the late game. Because again, Perks has this Rafaela. Now the question is, will the setups connect for Falcons Apbren, for Flap and for Obit? Because if it doesn't, it might be a different story for the agents.
And that's the difficult part of it for Blacklist International is you're not really going to be the ones to initiate a fight, like unless for some reason MP the King ends up getting a Spear the Alpha setup. Perks does have the Holy Baptism, but you know, earlier we were saying, what if he's a little more aggressive? Well, this time they've got to adjust
Langsung
to
aja.
what the lead is doing for FCAP right now. So if he's going to do something now, he's got a flicker available, he's got the Holy Baptism, and they start up the Lord here. They're going to have to contest this one, it looks like. We'll see if they can pull it off. Half health right now on the Lord. FCAP in position. They'll take their time as well. And even with that Flask of the Oasis just being picked up here by Perks, that should help a little bit.
MP the King-nya.
Well, they're gonna get the first hit down. MP the King pops his spear up, but just to walk away. It looks like Caltisi will secure this Lord.
Dapat lah, manipulation mati langsung MP the King-nya. Killing.
Taruh
Guardian. Waduh, keangkat langsung. Keluar. Dibalikin.
Dibalikin.
Jah. Isi nyawa.
Gonna come here now. Flapteasy has to walk away because of the damage of Blacklist. So Falcons Apbren did a very good job of not just zoning out Blacklist, but also securing the Lord and getting a kill onto MP the King.
Yeah, even in that fight, Blacklist, the way that they played that, even with OHEB kind of like breaking ankles and using the sprint to go the other way, I'm surprised no one else went down. You know, because it could have been way worse. And they have the healing to prove and sustain through that fight, but they still have to deal with this Lord push in because FCAP, you know, as hard as it is to get some of those kills because of just how, you know, dynamic and how much mobility this lineup of Blacklist has, they're happy to just go ahead and take the objectives. They got the Lord, they can get these turrets, get to the base turrets and the Holy Shields down from this. So they're almost in a position where it's like, hey, Blacklist, you've got to do something against us. Otherwise, we're just going to take all your turrets and then we're going to take you to game 5. So Blacklist trying to hold on to what they can.
Wah, Lord JM. Par. Meledak. Hampir mati.
And now Falcons Apbren, their minions are pushing, popping the holy shields. Blacklist needs to defend this. They're not going to lose any inhibitor turret. And I do agree with what you're saying. But wait, here comes Lord JM, goes in.
Lord JM, terlalu awas.
Pops is revitalized. Here's goes the counter attack coming in from Flapteasy.
Anti collection. Wah, kata
He's gonna connect onto every single agent. But OHEB picks up the counter kill.
Jauh dari manipulation.
That's the thing. They might re-engage off of this FCAP on the retreat. They don't have Oakwood.
Falcon.
And so that's the thing, you know, they want
Kenapa dia
them to
Blacklist
fight.
ngomongnya nggak BLC kah?
Kenapa
tiba Falcon Apbren FCAP?
The fact that they have the heals,
baru dapat corrosion. Masa iya?
and then hopefully re-engage, especially when
Mid
the
11.
revitalize alone is up from Lord JM. It does help with that whole thing. And really, again, it's all just a timer.
Kabel belum mati dong. Beneditanya. Magic Centron tuh balik tuh flicker isi nyawa.
Lord JM is gonna fall down. Heads up play there from Caltisi, charging up the Queller. Hit on Lord JM before he cast it to elect the final blow. That's why when the animation ended, Lord JM just went down.
Blacklist back to this, the form of just this Ube. They gotta stay together, stay around Perks, providing that speed and the healing, of course. And it's all you're playing for OHEB here. You're allowing OHEB to get the farm that he needs to hopefully have that changing of blazing duet that will help them win a team fight.
Gila, Haji selalu beli Sky Piercers dari tadi. Pede banget dia ngekill.
They gotta get in position. MP the King's gotta be tanky enough too that he doesn't get picked off himself. Takes quite a bit of damage just from the Lord alone right now. So pressure, if they can, on the side lanes. Flap will have to deal with that. Neither team, though, I don't think wants to fully commit to this. They're gonna have to kind of feel out the area, set things up, keep an eye on Few where he decides to set up the real-world manipulation.
Oh, di bawah.
And so we'll have to see what angle is taken, either Lord JM or a fully stacked OHEB here. They might break out in the fight and force the health on the Lord.
Manipulation.
Will be dropped down as Flapteasy trying to zone
Blazing
out.
Duet ke belakang, OHEB ya.
OHEB goes in with a Blazing Duet. They might bring down Flapteasy there. Now the counter engage coming in from Blacklist. Lord JM making sure not to let Few go home. Hachi goes in with a Crimson Beacon, forcing Falcons Apbren to retreat. Flapteasy for a Lord. I think Falcons Apbren got what they wanted.
They got what they wanted, which was the Lord. And only the cost of Flapteasy, so Blacklist tried. Again, even despite them being behind, they are still trying to go for these fights, go for these objectives. They just unfortunately haven't found the right setup they're looking for. And even with that one, when OHEB went in with Blazing Duet, it wasn't exactly the best place to do it. Only hitting Flap at the time. So they'll clear out this Lord. They might be able to hold on to these base turrets they can keep things from getting too out of hand here. They're
Good
trying to
manipulation.
keep the Lord
Pew.
from getting in that range. So FCAP will focus elsewhere, maybe the mid lane as soon as that wave's pushing in.
Tinggal di
They gotta
manipulation,
respect
tunggu
the
guys,
poke
sabar.
coming out though too. Like the final blow gonna be used from Lord JM.
Whoosh.
Now the mid wave pushing into the base, but so far so good. A sliver of health on that bottom turret. Super Marco will get this one with the shot, but Blacklist holds on to as much as they can.
Hancur.
Turret finally goes down.
Successful turret takedown from
Misi
Falcons
complete.
Apbren without committing
Hancurin bawah.
a lot of resources and without suffering casualties.
Karena lot di
So that's a
atas.
good sign for Falcons Apbren. This game compared to the previous game isn't as
Basis
flashy
mulai
because of
fix
course there's
DOD
no
Endless
baddie,
Battle.
but it shows
Clean
the
nih,
discipline
sering
from
banget.
Falcons Apbren and their
Tapi
mental resilience to take things slow even
Laudanya
if
udah beli
you know fatigue's
WON.
kicking in because this is a best of 5 series. They know that they have to play it safe. They can't go for those risky plays even if they have a 6.1k gold lead because again they're putting a lot of respect to Blacklist's counter engage. They have a lot of heals coming in from perks. Lord JM, the revitalize works
Terima
quite
Kasih.
well.
Dulu.
So right now Falcons Apbren, they're gonna do this by the book. If ever they get a pick off, they might force out an inhibitor turret takedown, but ideally they would go for another little dance.
Yeah, you can see this pressure on the buff of MP and just keeping it because really there's nothing else for FCAP to really do at this point unless they just wait for the Lord. At that point, they can wait for the Lord, force the fight because you got to remember they're always wanting to fight around their strengths here with this lineup, which is just that E pick, the E pick alone, and real-world manipulation is what you want to do. So for Blacklist, that's the same story. You know, huddle up, stay together, farm up. Get those
Ngumpul
last
rame-rame
items locked
aja,
in
udah
and
beli
hope that you're just
Oracle,
ready to go by the time
nambah
this Lord comes up.
nantinya
And so
lebih
far, you
kencang
know, that's
lagi,
why it's a good goal
nambah
here.
darah
Yeah,
XP-nya.
you said it, like, even with a lead that FCAP has, it doesn't matter, really, because the lineups for Blacklist is able to go toe-to-toe with FCAP for the most part. But where it does start to change is once you get to this portion of the game, that late game where you do have some of the items being picked up, like the Immortalities, the Winter Crowns, the Wind of Natures being switched in, switched out, could change the cause of this. But the biggest thing, though, is the positioning for Blacklist. How do they utilize fighting or counter-fighting into what's going to be set up by Few here? That's always going to be the point of contention for them if they're able to pull it off. Super Marco now picking up that Wind of Nature. So you can see both XP laners, too, still staying down there, wanting to put some macro pressure around the map. And we'll see where Ogun goes into. Both the Revitalizers can play a part in this fight as they're both available.
Makronya bawa
So,
jalanin.
JM, bottom side, half health on the Lord here.
Good
There's the
manipulation.
setup.
Cari MP the King-nya.
For Falcons Apbren, they're gonna work on this Lord. A good.
Whoosh.
Okay, they're gonna get the Lord there.
Jo,
Now,
siapa tuh,
trying
Jo?
to
Lihat, Jo.
disengage. AOG coming in from Owen. Owen goes in with a blazing duet. They
Blazing
might be
whip.
able to take down Flapteasy though, but Flapteasy flickers out. Now they're working on Owen. Owen still has his immortality though as Flapteasy goes in with a quick sand guard. Now Falcons Apbren
Si Abu
play
manja
this
di
to
itunya.
perfection.
Iya,
They
Abu
got the
manjaunya dari
Lord,
luar.
no casualties.
Abu, sini.
Although they didn't go for
Abu.
the kills, it's a necessary thing to not lose any
Abu.
members of the beast.
Abu.
Because this Lord push,
Sini,
if
sini.
Lord complete, could end this right away. And
Nah,
then
ini
force the
diganggu,
game
guys.
5 and eventually
Sini.
send Blacklist back into the lower
Abu.
bracket. But Falcons Apbren,
Sini.
okay, they need to play this to
Bulunya
perfection
naik.
again.
Sini.
A good push, not getting picked off before the Lord comes in and looking at the items.
Diapain tadi
Oheb
kamu?
already locked in. You have to respect the potential of a blazing duet connecting onto every single member and plus skills coming in from perks.
Itu Cindy itu.
We'll approach the base here. Lord on the bottom side. The focus of FCAP top
Sini.
side.
Sini.
To try to clear this out right now. Good clear though for Blacklist. Still working on it. Mid turret as well. Flap front side.
Ya hancur
can jump
lagi
into the base
tengah
too.
sama apanya.
Blacklist will work on the Lord. Next wave pushing in the
Wow.
mid. FCAP looking
Apa
to
tuh?
take these turrets down. A couple of immortalities and defensive items
Hancur gak
available
tuh?
to them. But
Hancur
Blacklist
nih,
still
cepet.
just healing through a lot of even the poke
Nggak
coming
juga.
through out of the outer edges. Right now that top
Lah,
turret's gonna be
ada
worked on.
manipulation di situnya. Biar nggak bisa maju. Boleh.
Up. Okay, goes in, MP goes in with Spear of Alpha,
Itu.
though they're working on the clash.
MP the King-nya, blazing
duet,
duet WON. Shootdown, killing spree. Hajinya. Hajinya gila guys, Capistrnya nyala dong.
They know that they can do it. Flapteasy might fall down.
Wow,
Another kill coming in from
comeback.
Haji.
WON.
Super Marco pops his Purify, but Lord James
Wah.
making sure there's no
Bahaya.
escape for the bulletproof. Lord James trying to cut off the exit route of Ogwin. It's just Ogwin and Kyle
Oh my god.
The Falcons Apbren, they can still defend this. They have a lot of minions. They have a lot of turrets.
They got a lot of space to work around with, but you gotta give it up for Blacklist to stay together, to keep calm and a cool head. And now, this is the biggest switch in momentum that they have here.
Comeback
Whoa,
kah?
whoa, whoa. 7 seconds before Few comes in. Ogwen doing his best to work on the minions. Here comes the old Winter Crown also will be popped. Ogwen just trying to zone out the minions.
Selamat.
Blacklist AOG will be casted. A successful defense
Bahaya
from
banget.
Falcons Apbren. But again, the
Hajinya ngeri
determination,
guys
the
susu ini.
resilience of Blacklist.
And that's
Dapat
why I was
2
saying,
kill, berarti
I was saying
220
this minutes ago, it doesn't matter the type of
Bisa deh.
gold lead that FCAP had. You saw it unfold there. Blacklist with the items that they already locked in at this point of the game. You know, you're
Ngumpul-ngumpul,
19 minutes in.
hati-hati.
It's all about their positioning and the way they layered those entry points. Again, FP jumped in first, right? He got some response from FCAP, and then later, OHEB came in with a blazing duet, able to hit, you know, multiple members, and then the follow through even from Lord JM. So now they've got a little bit of an advantage here if they can work with it. FCAP though, they're not going to want to just give this one up. Half health on the Lord. The
Ya
fight.
mati dong Gatot
Pick up
kacanya.
Ogwen doesn't have his Immortality.
Wih,
AOG,
good,
he'll
mau
be able to
manipulation.
escape though. Few with the real world manipulation, but they're going for the backline, trying to force out Few.
Wah,
Flappy sequence
GG,
Sandguard.
Rafaela.
Blacklist holding their ground, forcing Falcons Apbren to retreat.
They're going to heal.
Oh, they might burst down the Lord though.
They're going to try to. FCAP. What do they do? There's the initiation.
MP the King goes in for Flap Teasy. Flap Teasy
Team fight
Immortality
gede,
will
guys.
be popped. He
Oh,
does
Flap.
fingers out.
Tapi
Quick
dia masih
Sandguard
hidup.
just to heal up. Here comes the counter initiation.
Udah nggak ada
from
dong
Falcons
itunya.
Apbren. Okay, now they can engage.
Both revitalize already
Lord
used. This is the
Dance.
push
Ini sambil
and
nungguin
pull.
minion
We
atas.
always talk
Lord JM harus mundur
about
dia.
as close as of evolved Lord Dance that we've seen here as it resets after reset.
Oh,
And FCAP getting in position again. They know Lord Jam's got to clear and handle that wave up top as they try to get an advantage here. Few. No flicker available, just picking up the Divine Glaive. And now do they play into this? Once again, Lord Jam will be joining the fight. Revitalize almost available for Oakwood.
Rafaela nge-heal semua.
And so they'll just reset, take their time, wait for all the ultimates and these battle spells to be back and available. Again, this is one of the upsides of having a Rafaela with you. But Flap and Lord Jam both there.
Sama-sama EXP-nya nge-clear.
Right now, neither team just wants to go just yet.
look at Falcons Apbren's lead.
Harus jalanin
Almost
juga.
non-existent. Haji has been doing a good job zoning out the members of the Beast. And with that previous clash, good play from Lord JM using the Electo final blow to reach where the source of the real world manipulation was coming from, which is Few. That's why Few had to flicker out, because if he didn't, this could be the end, the demise of Falcons
Wah, dikejar.
Apbren. And
Laptisinya.
now Blacklist reacting to what Flapteasy has been doing, sending out Haji and Oheb also to get the purple buff.
Harus fokus juga ke
Both
minimap
the
guys.
lineups, it's not like you're gonna make a surprise play.
Ini
You
dia
know,
tuh
there's
sama
no
Khalid
Yi.
Khalid
There's
nih
no
lagi
Yi.
adu
You're not
makro
gonna
dia
just
nih.
go ahead and appear somewhere. Lord
Mikronya
JM
jalaninnya.
just kind of putting pressure on that off lane to keep it there, and he also Flap's got to respond to it as they go ahead and start things up once again. They bought enough time for these battle spells to also be available, so we'll see if they
Kasih
punch it
kepiu
through
lagi.
again.
Ah.
One revitalize can change the course of the fight.
Oh,
Mortality's here too. Fourth health. They actually going to go for it. Is going to reset again. Probably one of the
Reset
longer
lagi.
Lord fights we've seen throughout the season. And still FCAP respecting the fact.
Ah, kecepatan Q-nya.
They don't have it.
Ya,
okay, no more real world manipulation for Falcons Apbren.
Oh, this is tough being out here. You can see how
aduh, nggak ada
much tension
manipulation.
between both teams because of the
Cari
fact that those
hajinya
are down,
dulu
but
sih.
gonna fight it out.
Oh, I think they're committing onto Ogwen, popping a lot of ultimates. They're gonna pop his Winter
Ayo,
Crown.
Centrum.
Flapteasy has to go in with the Raging Sandstorm, trying to save Ogwen here. MP the King's Immortality will also pop here. Will he be able to escape though? No casualties yet for
Rafaela.
all of these teams.
Rafaela guys ya.
Lord Dance.
We can call it a Lord Dance once again. It's no more a shuffle, but
Blazing
they're in
duet,
the fight.
AOM.
Blazing duet coming in from the Filipino sniper, but counters out with the real world manipulation coming in from Phil. They have to walk away though. The agents are retreating. Falcons Apbren still holding on to this Lord.
Oh, they're trying to heal through it. Lord JM had to clear the waves, but the Lord.
MP the King still here. Oh, they're working on MP Spear of Alpha. It's gonna be a retribution
Ya.
battle, but MP the King goes down.
Mati MP the King-nya, guys.
Reagents as well.
Shoot down, Haji.
Falcons Apbren
Ah, tamat
lock the
udah.
Lord.
Menang.
A double for Kyle. Working on Oheb's immortality.
Nice try, nice try. And. And bawahnya juga view-nya tuh. Mega kill. GG.
Just like that, Falcons Apbren will extend the series, and we will go to a
Game
game
5
number
guys.
5.
GG.
Talk about
Mengerikan ya
a
guys ya.
Lord dance.
Oke guys, selamat untuk tim Falcon yang gagal meraih kemenangan. Falcon lagi mana gagal menang. Falcon meraih kemenangan. Maaf guys. Tim Falcon berhasil menang di game keempat, jadi skor 2-sama untuk Blacklist. Nice try guys ya. Hampir saja sudah lihat game itu spek Rafaela hampir saja guys, tapi ya karena turret bawah dan atasnya tim Blacklist sudah hancur, jadi susah super minionnya, jadi mereka harus antisipasi atas dan bawah. Selamat sekali lagi untuk Falcon Apbren yang menang di game keempat skor 2-sama guys ya. Kita akan lanjutin 3 game kelima. Dadah guys, sampai jumpa.